Hello, everyone. We are live with a new addition for the Hangout and Hobbies and to the U.S. in general, or at least our neck of the woods.
An absolute stranger to 40k and the community. A literal unheard of quantity.
Crazy. So we're going to be hanging out and hobbying with Adam over here. And I'm going to be trying to not mess up the tech. Siegs isn't here, so he can't speak to the machine. I will be... we don't need him.
We don't need him.
We don't need him. We traded him for Adam, actually.
Well, he's up in Scandinavia visiting his partner, yeah?
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's Netherlands, I believe.
Netherlands is Scandinavia, right?
I have no idea.
There we are. Quality programming.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm literally just going through my Dark Angels army that I packed really tight for transit for my 30-hour trip to the States and just seeing what needs repairing, taking stock. So many boys came off their bases. My black templar intercessors and stuff.
Oh, those guys look sweet.
Came out real nice.
Yeah.
Anybody at home, if you want a black templar or fly intercessor, just put a Mark III helmet on it. They look absolutely beautiful. Where's the camera? Look at that bad boy right there.
There you go. Yeah, it looks sweet.
Mark III helmet and shoulders.
Looks far better than any of my black templar stuff. I tell you
Absolute spiffo. That's the technical term, by the way, guys. Spiffo.
We're gonna be learning new stuff.
That's right.
Here today, I'm gonna be working on some Death Company. You can never use, never have too many Thunderhammers in a meta as thick as this one.
I hear Thunderhammers are on the up. Why would that be?
There is the City of Thickness.
Yeah.
And they're thick.
The girth.
Talos, Chronos, Grotesques. They don't care about your damage too. They don't want it.
The girth is quite impressive.
That's right. So, what's going on?
This is possibly going to be part of this stream.
It is the voice of Art of War Down Under. No longer Down Under.
Yeah, no longer Down Under, at least for the time being. My beautiful Primaris chappie has lost his Crozius.
No.
If you see him, guys, his beautiful Crozius is somewhere in this pile of stuff.
Get some Fs in that chat.
Fs in chat for Primaris chappie. I already found it. And you are going to need a pin, I think. There we go.
Yeah, Hootie, you may be seeing a little bit more Blood Angels out of me in the near future.
Me?
Out of me, at least.
Oh, yeah?
Talking to...
Oh, sorry, the chat.
Yeah.
Give this guy a repair as well.
Oh, no.
So many boys came off their bases. It's quite distressing. I held them in my grubby little hands the entire way through, and then the last leg from
Did they
Charlotte,
make you check them?
They did.
No.
They made me check it on Charlotte, and then bang.
No.
All gone to hell.
Well, maybe we can get this guy a new, better Crozius.
No, it's right there. We got
Okay.
that. I'll pin that on. It'll
right.
come out nice.
All right.
Good old
Impulsor?
If you want to travel with an item, brick-like units tend to go alright. The Impulsor came through legitimately 100% unscathed.
Yeah. So, did you hear about what they did to the Impulsor Black Templar trick?
They killed it. Yeah?
They killed it. They ended it. Yeah. They.
The one. It was actually going to be quite fun to do that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I did it a little bit. Maybe it's not quite worth it because it takes a lot of CP and points invested, but it was so cool.
It was really cool. I hear we now have a full complement of 10 Redempted Dreadnoughts in the house now that I brought my 3 with me.
Yeah, we have so many Redemptors.
It's just Redemptive.
We have so many
Redemptors. I hear there's also a possible APOC game being planned for...
There is, and we'll have to
have 10
see
Redemptors.
how we can work you in.
Just
yeah,
have 10 Redemptors.
Well, because it's going to be a full Night Lance, and then 10 Redemptors,
now,
and then we'll see what we can get going. Long story is you can donate to make Nick sad, and that is
always money well spent.
Yes,
as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. So we have a couple questions for you.
Yep.
Adam, what are you there for? Do a Games Workshop event? Staying stateside for a while? Why is Adam stateside? A lot of similar questions.
I've got a couple of streaming commitments. Yeah, I'm going to be helping out in some ways at Dallas. I won't be part of the full stream, but I'm just going to be helping out on the side with Val, helping keep the ship righted, and our boys, Nick and TPM doing their thing nice and smoothly. And then I'm going to be streaming for FLG at the New Orleans event that we're coming up.
That's nice.
I'll be teaming up with the Wargames Live gentlemen, and we're doing a beautiful solo table cast. My throat is going to be so luxurious because I'm only casting one table. It's just going to be dreams.
You don't have to bounce back and forth between 3 tables?
Yeah, well,
that's what they've been doing at the GW Open.
Yeah. Well, that's my preference. My preference is to just get to like max words per minute and stay there. Do not drop off 250 words per minute for the entire duration of the event. But that's not this gentleman's format, so I'm just going to be doing whatever he wants me to do.
That's, Art of War After Dark.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll be staying in the States for a minimum of 3 months, hopefully a little bit longer. I'm still working towards getting something more permanent over here because, of course, this is where all the streaming gigs are. This is what I want to do. And of course, my boys over here, I want to stick as close to them as I can. This is my Redemptor.
It is gorgeous.
I magnetized this before I figured out there's actually just a pin for the weapons. You can just slot the weapons on.
I like how it clicks, though.
It feels good. A nice click. Yeah, it came out real good.
Yeah, it looks real nice. Love that. Love that purity seal in there.
Yeah, there's a big look. We're just gonna ooh and ah some of my miniatures for a bit. Actually, comes out really. It looks better on the screen than it does in real life. But he came out good. The Redemptors are just like as unkillable in transit as they are in real life. On the table. Yeah,
until you've seen John's Gaunts pick up two of them in one turn.
I will not be paying Redemptors versus Gaunts. My boys deserve better. They deserve better, I tell you.
They do, but that's not what they get.
That's right.
I can't remember which of these I've already taken the little sprue things. All right. Jack, does your Blood Angel list have any answers for things like Hiveguard lists that go first? Very few things in the meta have answers for Hiveguard lists that go first. Yeah. That's just my Grey Knights, the second or potentially best army in the game, although I think it's second at the moment. Best army in the game does not really have an answer for 18 Hiveguard going second.
Well, that's really the thing, isn't it? They've got no infiltrate opportunities. They've got some redeploy, yeah?
Grey Knights, yeah. You can redeploy 3 core units, and then you can teleport and do all that sort of stuff.
But it doesn't matter because nothing can move over your deployment line. So you can't get up in their face.
You can't,
and nothing's quick enough to charge.
I mean, you can Blades of Victory, but I feel like the Tyranids player is just going to be able to counter that. In addition, whatever you Blades of Victory up is just going to get.
What's the Blades of Victory give?
It's a Warlord trait where the Warlord and a core unit get to move 6 inches at the start of the game.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So if you go first, you can get really close to them and hit them really hard.
But it's just going to be so telegraphed. Like deployment,
yeah.
Right?
And if you go second, forget about it.
Yeah.
If you go first with Blood Angels, you can be all over them with potentially a Librarian who can move twice, and then charge, and then potentially Death Company that can move twice and then charge.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because Blood Angels, like, sure, it's not great, but the fact is everything in your army is fast. Whereas Grey Knights are cool. You have these 3 units that are fast, and someone gets the gate. At least Blood Angels can have that overwhelming. Hey, if you just don't roll amazing in their turn 1, turn 2 you still get them.
Yeah. And a large amount of 2 wounds, high armor saves, some feel no pains in there, 6 up or 5 up on Death Company. Maybe something will live to get to them.
The 5 up on Death Company is actually really, really relevant.
I don't love it, but most armies do not love. Nobody
gets to love it, right?
Yeah. Not even Knights love that.
Yeah, I was joking about just going back to 30 Deathwing Terminators because cool, they just don't care.
Yeah,
but even they, like, if you take against a Manny Chamber variant, they really care.
But after a while, like, it just adds up. It just adds up. You got to shut them up quick, and it's just hard to do. So we have a $4.99 donation from Clown Mode. What do you boys think of combat Templars, and how would you do it?
Oof, I haven't had it. So Jack just walked in the door. I haven't seen Jack since I got here. Just walked in the door 10 minutes before we started this. I spent most of the transit over here working on 2 Black Templar armies and 1 Dark Angels army. Just, of course, you start off with a good concept, and then when you work on it for long enough, it just gets worse. You just end up with a worse list. Than
you hit a wall at some point
of progress.
Yeah.
But I do have one list. I tried really hard to make. What do you got? Well, I'm switching off. I watched your game versus John, the Blood Angels versus the Black Templars.
Yeah.
And I was really, really impressed with John's use of the Blade Guard. And I think that's where the value is. Making Blade Guard bigger than the sum, as in 2 units of Blade Guard that are bigger and better than they need to be, you know?
Yeah,
are extra.
I really like the Blade Guard, actually. I like, they're just hard to kill. They're hard to deal with. And they kept not being the place I wanted to put my attacks first. And so they just ended up living through the whole game. Now, he is slow, so I was able to pin him kind of down in one spot and win on points. But, like, it was not an easy game, for sure.
So my combat variant of Templars, and Okay, so bear with me. There's one Templars unit with me and Jack Malines, which I'm in love with. I love Assault Intercessors as Black Templars.
They're not bad.
They're
They're
bad.
fine. They're fine.
But that Fist of Balthus with Fights Twice, you just do so
max.
much stuff you shouldn't be able to do.
Can you give a power sword to the sergeant too?
You can.
So you can have like 2 10-mans with Fist of Balthus on one and then Sword of Judgment on the other.
Yeah.
I actually don't hate that because 10-man guys with a 5-up Feel No Pain and a 5-up Invul and then mini transhuman all the time are hard to kill.
Speculation aside, all fingers crossed, there could be like a 1 or 2 point reduction on Assault Intercessors coming. Hopefully. I have not heard anything. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this, but
this is just nobody plays them. So if anything's going to get points decreases, hopefully that's it. Don't add us.
It would make sense. Yeah, don't hate us if it doesn't. But yeah, sorry, that list, the one I've been cooking, I'm actually trying to make a Horde Templars list, a Horde all infantry Black Templars list, and I'll give it out to you guys because I'm pretty sure it's not great. So,
all right, yeah,
single battalion, Grimaldus, Helbrecht. I do
solid start.
I'm doing a Smashy Primaris Chaplain Black.
Okay. What do you have on?
He's Warlord, Benediction of Fury, Litany of Self Buff, and that's it.
Okay.
And Imperial Sword.
Which self buff? There's 2.
Mantra of Strength, so plus damage and stuff.
So you don't want to take the.
He's exploding fights first.
The double exploding fights first. Yeah. Extra. So does it give him an extra attack base? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't. No, because it gives him fights first, plus 1 strength. So he goes to strength 8 with 6 attacks.
Yeah.
And every 6 is 2 more hits. And so you got Benediction of Fury for flat 3 damage already.
Yep.
And then you pick up everything that's not a 6 and you roll it again. Yes. And he ends up getting about 10 hits.
Yeah, that guy's very good into Thick City too.
That's what he's for. He's there for Thick City because he's actually better. He's better than the damage 4 guy for Thick City because he just gets so many more hits.
Yeah.
He just pops off.
And he also does some mortals in there as well, which
exactly, and it doubles. Helps. So it doubles down because you usually do 2 or 3 mortals on that because you're mortals, you're getting all those hits.
I mean, I know they have Feel No Pain, but like every point of damage you can get through matters.
3 Primaris Crusader squads with the Berlin variant of the 247 point ones. Power Axe on the Sarge. And
what are we looking at here? Bladeguard Vet?
No, 3 Primaris Crusader squads.
Oh yeah.
5 Initiates and the 8 Neophytes. Just 3 squads of that. So I'm going for a Horde-esque. Of course, that means I got the Aurelian Shroud on my Primaris Apothecary with Chief Apothecary, Selfless Healer. I got the 6-inch Intervention Judicia. I don't know if I'd love it, but I wanted to experiment with it and give it a go.
I definitely think that's something you want to slap on the table.
Yeah.
I have had problems in the last version of the book. So with everyone had 40 mil bases in that version, basically, it was all Terminators and Blade Guard. And now there's a lot more 32s.
32s, yeah.
So it may be easier to fit the model into actually within 3 inches.
Well, because he's on a 40, isn't he?
He is on a 40.
I wish he was on a 32. My God.
Yeah. I wish
then he could fit through the 2-inch coherency gaps.
So yeah, getting within 6 was never the problem. It was being able to move him to get within 3 on his heroic. Was the main issue. So
the other thing I did with that Judicia is I put Mastercrafted on him, so it's damage 3.
Yeah.
So I've got all these little pockets of damage 3 in this list for Thick City. Then I got 2 of Blade Guard Vets, one of those with Crocs Obsidian, Champion of the Feast.
Like that.
And then the other one just has Icon of Hinman. So the
ignores AP -1/2. Both of those are really good into Thick City because they're made out of damage 2 and they're made out of AP 2.
Exactly right. And so one of them just doesn't care about Kronos. The other one just doesn't care about Talos. So actually, the other one doesn't care about anything.
Yeah. No, both of them don't really care about Talos or Kronos.
And then 5 Vanguard Vets with the bones. Because of course Grimaldus will be taking the extra mortal wounds. Because those mortal wounds on the Primaris Crusader squads actually makes them do so much more work than they should. Yeah. And then lastly, 1 attack bike with the Holy Orb. So I've got the 2 sources of Fights Last if I need to.
I actually really like that list.
Thanks, man. I should really like it as well. I should really like it. It has like no shooting, no zeros, donut. Everything's is Grimaldus advancing turn 1 and turn 2.
I mean, we'll see how. I think it does well into Thick City because they don't put out. They can't just sit back and just drop wounds on you.
Got General Might. Yeah, it's interesting that is counterintuitive to do General Might when you put the litany on them. The involved because you don't get to roll the mortals for the mortal wounds. Yeah.
Which one's Gene Rot Might?
It's 6s to hit auto wound.
You wouldn't get to roll for mortals, but you probably are going to get to 6 either way.
If you got Canonical of Hate, you're
gonna just drop a ton of wounds on your opponent either way.
Is it Litany of Hate or Canonical of Hate? Whatever.
Canonical is the charge one.
Why did they have to do Hate twice?
Because they hate a lot.
Yeah, they do. They do hate a lot. But yeah, why did they have to do that twice? Why can't they just hate somebody else? Name it somebody else.
Yeah. So. No, I'm the worst at memorizing stuff, and I eventually got it, so we'll get there.
I will get there.
I always just called it Litany of Reroll Hits and Litany of Charge Better.
You know, one model I'm not going to be buying is the new Grimaldus because I got my own Prometheus Grimaldus.
Put that on camera.
Yeah,
Do
I
that.
got my own one.
Yeah, that guy
I actually bought this off a dude on. I just bought this off a dude.
looks so cool.
Because I saw it and I was like, yeah, I'm having that. Thank you. Yep. I was inspired to do this myself, almost exactly the same thing. But then I just saw a guy done it already. I'm just like, yeah, I'm doing that now.
Yeah.
It just came out so perfectly perfect. I think it's better. I think it's better than the one they brought out. But naturally, a lot more work.
Yeah, of course. It's a good paint job on
Really,
it.
really
Really
good
like
paint
it.
job.
Yeah.
Probably better than what I could have done anyway.
All right.
Thank you, everybody who's joined in for this. This is the first Adam.
When did you get here? You got here yesterday, right?
8 o'clock last night. Yeah.
8 o'clock last night. Found a hotel and just collapsed. Or did you get back here?
I came back here. Nick brought me back here. Went out and got some tacos for dinner.
Solid. He's really been on a taco binge lately.
They're surprisingly, if you pick right, they're surprisingly can be healthy.
That's true. I'm assuming you didn't go to Taco Bell then.
No,
He's been big on Taco Bell recently.
That's a mistake. That's a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, no comments, but where'd you go? Did you go to El Jalisco?
Moe's?
Moe's is solid.
Yeah,
Moe's is solid.
Yeah, I had a good time, Moe's.
Yeah.
Dude can paint. Yeah, that wasn't my one though. I can paint, but that wasn't mine. This guy's
Yeah, slap some of your stuff on that.
Yeah. I'll get some cool. I got my aggressor conversions. Well, not conversions. I when I needed aggressors, I could only get the push fit ones. But of course, I wanted them to not be the flamer boys. So I took all the Gatling guns off my Torx, the extra Torx Prime kits I got, and just chucked them on the hands.
That looks way scarier.
It looks way better. It actually looks better in my estimation.
I mean, it really translates. Just do not get shot by these guys.
Yes, I also cut off the bubble heads. If you'll know that's a theme with mine. For the Mark 10s, all the bubble heads, just cut them right off.
Oh, that's an Eradicator head in there.
No, that's the head they come with. All the Mark 10 heads are the same. I'll show you some others. Where's my fatties? Yeah, so that's Inceptor. I just cut off the booster boots and the bubble head.
Yeah, me. Ooh, yeah, looks good. And you magnetized the arms?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Solid.
I've never used the bolters.
You can make
never
them
kitted
not
them with the bolters.
Terrible in Crimson Fists and Imperial Fists, but I mean, you can't make that army not terrible.
Crimson Fists make them respectable. I will agree with that.
So, two comments that are kind of connected. Nick A, I'm hearing a lot of damage 3 into Thick City, but why not spamming Lightning Claws and Chainswords also? Yes. Yes on both of those. Chainsword's less good, because even with +1 to wound, you really struggle with wounding on 4s.
Yeah.
To get enough attacks to really start killing Talos and Kronos, but Lightning Claws are phenomenal. You can just spam Vanguard Vets with Lightning Claws and do much better. I think the damage cap, though, is... So if you think about it, a unit of Death Company with Thunderhammers wounding on 2s at damage 3 is better than rerolling to wound on 4s on damage 1. And they're a little more expensive, but that's something that you can do. So Death Company tend to hit a little harder even through -1 damage because they just hit so freaking hard. But a lot of Vanguard Vets is also the way to do it because they don't care if you're -1 damage, they're already 1 damage. And how would you change your Blood Angels list if you would go with it to your GT tomorrow? Not a lot, probably. Just think about I'm trying to find ways to add some Death Company to it, so that's why I'm working on Death Company right now. A little bit more. And hasn't more Chainswords always been the answer to Drukhari? Usually, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, usually. Because nothing they took was above like toughness 3, so you're all wounding on 2s, and AP2 is good enough. But now they're bringing out the thickness.
Mm-hmm.
And the thickness is a little past what Chainswords are.
It's past Chainsword's ability to... I was a big advocate for Death Company with like 1-2 hammers and the rest Chainswords.
Yeah.
Just because you only needed 2 hammers to kill a raider. Any hammers past 2 hammers was not enough.
So I have a super secret split that lets you kill 3 raiders.
Ooh.
Generally with 1 unit with 4 hammers.
Don't keep us in the dark.
I wouldn't dream of it. So what you do is you give them every buff, so that's +1 to hit, reroll hits, put them into Assault Doctrine. Then you throw 2 hammers at once. So people love to cluster their raiders up. They just do for some reason.
They just did. Well, there's only so many places you can hide them on some boards.
Exactly, and they're big, and I mean, people still for some reason want to hide from Blood Angel shooting.
Yeah.
But you get into 3. You throw 2 hammers at 1. That should just put it down. Rerolling 3s to hit, wounding on 2s, 3 damage. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Then you you take the one guy with the chainsword and you split his attacks 3 and 3 between 2 raiders.
Oh, because the last wound.
You just need to chip one wound off to bring each of them down to 9, and you're hitting on 2s, rerolling wounding on 4s, and they get a 6 up invuln against it. So you're likely going to push 1 wound through on each, and then you put 1 hammer guy into each one. And so all you need to do is get 3 through with rerolling hits and wounding on 2s, and they get 6 up invuln. I've rolled it out a couple times. It's like 50-50 you get all 3, and very likely that you get 2.
It'd be like upper 80 percentiles, you get 2, no problems.
Yeah.
Just to ask a question there. What do we think of the new Custodes stuff preview today? I'm still a little confused about how it works, because they said there's a secondary, tertiary, that kind of thing.
So to my best reading of it, the way it works is you pick from a bunch of these katas. Martial arts fans out there will love this. You pick a bunch of katas. There's a whole list of them. And you write down 1 is your primary, 1 is your secondary, 1 is your tertiary. And on your first turn, you have to do, then each one has 2 forms.
Yep.
So
like in Necron protocols do.
Exactly. And turn 1, you have to do one of the primary forms or stances or whatever. And then on turn 2, you can either do the second stance out of the first kata, or you can jump to the secondary and do a stance out of that one.
Okay, yeah.
And then the following turn, you can either, as I said, do like, so if you did the first 2 stances out of primary 1, then you have to switch to the secondary.
Yeah.
So you get some flexibility in there about exactly when you want to do the buffs. If you pick a secondary for one that you want to do, you can either do that stance turn 2, 3, or 4, depending on how you space it out.
Yeah. It seems pretty convoluted.
It
seems quite confusing.
It is a little bit, but you get more control over it than Necron protocols. Necron protocols, you just get to.
Yes.
I hope you're a big-brained boy, because you better pick them all in the right order.
Oh, but I've never seen people change game to game with Necron protocols. They're just like, this is the order, and this is what I'll do.
Apparently, John has Siegs' list memorized, what order he goes in. Oh, yeah, I did Sigismund too.
He lost his fingers. I don't know where his fingers are gone.
Probably in some battle.
Yeah, definitely lost his fingers. But that's what I use in my Judicia most of the time.
Oh, that's a good one. I was using him as Helbrecht for a while.
Yeah.
The old Helbrecht was bad, but the new Helbrecht
I have the old Helbrecht. I need to get a new Helbrecht.
New Helbrecht is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really good. I just love Shigerman's. I'm listening to him right now in the Last Wall.
Oh yeah?
I've got like an hour left in that novel. It's gonna be good. My next jog, I should probably finish it off.
Solid choice.
I don't know what comes after. What comes after the last?
I don't know. I haven't. Anyway. I've only listened to Betrayer, or I've only read Betrayer.
Okay.
Betrayer.
So not even into the Siege.
I haven't gotten there yet. I
weak sauce.
I know. I'm reading Rhythm of War in Stormlight Archives at the moment.
Oh, okay. I've read the first one.
It's good.
Yeah, the first one is really good. Well, I have it. Brandon Sanderson has a bad run. So he did was Iron Fist? No, what is it called? He makes an incredible first book, an okay second book, and never sticks to landing. Like always, just the third book in his series is always kind of disappoint me.
I would stick with Stormlight.
Stormlight, yeah, because the first book was incredible.
First book was incredible.
Yeah.
Second book was good. Third book's been good. Third book was good. Rhythm of War so far is good.
Fantastic.
So I don't know, Jack. Good afternoon. Working on Selima Russ today. Good. They're 2-up armor now.
Nice. Yeah.
They do cool stuff.
I'm far more keen on Russes than I've ever been before.
Yeah. Demolisher cannon ones are scary.
Well, yeah, but it's weird that I'm trying to figure out whether Cadia is actually good or not, the Cadian supplement, because there is stuff you can do in that, like, because it makes mechanized infantry a billion times better, because you make the Chimera OBSEC count as 5 models.
Yeah.
And so then, cool, you can kill this OBSEC count as 5 models, but then 10 OBSEC models come out of it.
Yeah.
And so it's really good at playing the primary now.
You know what I like?
What?
I like taking a little bit Blood Angels for Quake Bolts.
Quake Bolts, yeah.
Quake Bolts,
yeah,
plus 1 to hit. You can give
hit.
that to the to any kind of melee pushback that you have. Because it works just as long as you target your opponent, any melee attacks get +1.
Who's that by? Is it true you are planning on losing 40k games all over Europe in 2022? Jonathan, yeah, I could say that is pretty true. Yeah, I do plan on losing many games with 40k. I mean, in this house, I am easily the worst player. Like, not even close. So yeah, expect to see me stomped regularly until I maybe get good.
Well, we're gonna train you up and send you back to.
I never gone back. Yeah, I'll probably go.
If you don't, you don't.
Australia's scary.
Yeah, it's got a lot of scary bugs.
It took me a lot to. So, just for those of you who might not be aware, I think I was told by Nick that he was happy for me to come over and make a run at go in full time after LVO in 2020 when I was over here last.
What happened in that time? Did anything?
Minor world events got in the way. A couple of semantics,
guys. If you can remind us what happened, it's just kind of slipped my mind. Yeah,
I got back and everything was fine. And then, they just wouldn't let me leave the country for another 2 years.
You know what's weird? I also stopped playing 40k for like a solid year at that point. I don't really
know. Yeah,
it's weird. Yeah. Well, we'll see maybe later if one of the boys knows.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely tragic. Any good questions?
Well, backing me up that second and third are best Stormlight, in his opinion.
Nice. That's good. That's encouraging. Solid. Because I have been, it's Steelheart. Steelheart was because he did it's a bit tropey now, but he did the evil superheroes thing.
Yeah.
That novel. And the first novel was phenomenal. The second one was and the third one was so bad, it put me off.
Was that the only Brandon Sanderson you've read?
No, I read the Stormlight.
Oh, other than
I read Way of Kings when it first came out, and I was like, gimme. And so then I started gobbling up all these other ones.
Yeah, I would say that I read Steelheart, and I would say that's, in my opinion, it's pretty easily his weakest.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the characters, but then the characters just went really dumb.
They did a little.
Yeah, they did.
Kind of put that one out of my...
And like I said, it was a bit tropey at the time because, of course, there was all the evil Superman stuff and Heroes... Sorry, not Heroes. The Boys was just coming out as well, and so it was kind of on brand to do that kind of a book at the time. Which did diminish it a little bit. What else do you read? Who's your favorite fantasy author?
Favorite fantasy author... He's not the most known for fantasy, but I'm going to use this as an excuse to go into it.
Stephen King?
No. Probably Jim Butcher.
Never heard of him.
Dresden Files and Codex Alera, that sort of thing.
I've heard of the novels,
Pretty good. Science fiction, I really love The Expanse. Own the entire collection. It's up on my wall.
Okay, so there's another one that I've failed. That I've failed on.
You flamed out on it? Where'd you stop?
Out. Book 3.
Book 3? Oh, which one? No, book 4 I think is my favorite. That'd be
why is it that
Sabola Burn?
Why is it I just stopped before the good stuff?
I don't know. But I don't think that's a common opinion about the books. I think
No. Well, I found book 4 was a really hard slog. Because it really so much of the main plot happened in the first half, and then it entirely diverged from the main plot for the rest of the thing.
So let me see. It was Leviathan Wakes, then Caliban's War, then
Abaddon's Gate.
Abaddon. Yeah, your weird pronunciation of Abaddon.
Abaddon.
Abaddon's Gate, then Sabola Burn is my favorite, and then a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. But only one of the only things that I think annoyed me on the initial read was just how immortal they all seemed.
How immortal?
Yeah, there was always one too many life-threatening situations they were in that they got out of unscathed.
That's everything.
It is, but but these things were so extreme that they got out of. Yeah. But of course, it's sci-fi fantasy. You got to suspend some disbelief.
I'm missing a torso.
Probably all of your disbelief. Suspend it.
Go. Suspend it.
Suspend it
from where? Anti-gravity?
Yeah, your disbelief.
Yeah.
Right where your torso is.
It's still in the bag.
Matt O, do Dark Angels pair well into Thick City? They seem to be underrated Marine chapter. I have some builds that I think might go okay into Thick City. One of the things that Dark Angels really have going for them is that they, more than anyone else, have the best melter platforms in the game.
Are we talking about the attack bikes?
Attack bikes and speeders. Because their speeders and attack bikes get extra fast and get invuln saves, they kind of become the default best melter giving platforms into Thick City because you get to just use them.
Yeah.
Whereas I would have said things Iron Hands are another good one as well because they got the good pod. I suppose Space Wolves as well because they got the good pod as well. But the thing is though, those pods they can't start on the board and you can zone them off. You can get in the way or make them only.
And you probably, if you're running a shooting list, then you drop a pod down with a bunch of stuff inside. They take some damage. They're going to eat the damage, and then they're going to tag the pod, and then your entire life is sad.
So thing is, like, so those melter options become a subset of your archetype, whereas melter can become the Dark Angel's archetype.
Yes.
And that's where a difference is. You can have a whole army of it is just built to apply melter. Even you can even take Samael if you really want to. I'm not a huge advocate for Sammy, but if you're just taking spamming melter, chucking Chapter Master on an attack bike, sending him out.
I mean, the Talon Masters are all damage 1.
Yes, so they got 2 heavy bolters, but you don't mind it.
I mean,
you don't mind
fair enough. It feels like it's all damage 1.
It does feel like it.
And their plasma's good into them.
Yeah, you can go 3 damage plasma. Once again, like, there isn't a good platform though. Like, Inceptors don't get close enough. Like, you come down when you do Inceptors, and maybe you don't kill because you can't Chapter Master it beforehand.
Yes.
So maybe they don't kill like their unit of 3 Talos that they were going for.
I mean, Thick City's going forward, so I think you might be able to start them on the board and just try and pick away at the edges.
That's right, I would. And seeing as there's less of the crazy MSU stuff, you can usually insulate against something like a single Succubus or a Drazar that's going to come at your turn 2. So there are options for the melter. I just still think just attack bikes are better, unfortunately.
I like it. I like the attack bike Ravenwing build. I worry that they're going to take the hits, take some damage, and then just walk through you.
That's my thoughts as well. It's just still not enough. The thickness is too thick.
It's too thick. I think you just need something that can stay there and continue to deal damage to them. Because 1 turn of damage is never going to put Thick City away.
Correct.
And then if they can get to you and charge you and pick you up, then you might be in some trouble.
I'm not sure Marines have good options. I mean, Marines had horrific options into the old Dark Eldar build.
Blood Angels have an ability to deliver an absolute insane amount of damage in combat.
Well, same can be said for White Scars as well.
White Scars 2, you just can't go all Van Vets on them because their damage 2 goes to damage 1 again, and that's not fun. I do think Thunderhammers in White Scars, you can give them full rerolls to hit, you can give them +1 to wound still.
Man, if you could take 10 Wolfguard with Lightning Claws and the double exploding 6s, that's a thing.
If you can make a list that just beats Thick City in the center of the board. Like, you give Wolfguard just 1,000,000 Thunderhammers and rerolls and exploding 6s and nonsense. And you just get in there and you start swacking. Maybe. It's not easy because the list is broken. And so when you do try to kill it, it can just fall back on being stupider than you.
Yes.
Because it's still fast. It still scores objectives.
It's still faster than average.
It still does a lot of damage up close. Like, it's no fun. But yeah, you can build lists that do well into them.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm really enjoying the Orc builds that are coming out to try and go into Thick City. The Goth builds, stuff like that. I think they're really exciting, very interesting. I
think Mark is doing some fantastic work with some aggressive Orc Goth builds. He trounced Nick's Thick City on stream, 80-32.
That's exciting.
Orcs are really good at just putting the pace on.
Yes, and because and
everybody actually,
it's really.
My Grey Knights also lost to it in practice game.
I'm still incredulous at how good kill rigs are for their points. They're a unit that does everything. Like, they do everything. They are Dread Knight-esque. They are Hive 8th edition Hive Tyrant-esque in the fact that you have this model that just does everything.
Yeah, they're really good.
Psychic, decent mobility. For some reason has transport capacity as well, just cause, slap that on there. I really think 2 to 3 kill rigs, packings of Beast Snagger boys, a bunch of truck boys, and then just whatever the smashy characters of your desire, really.
Yeah.
I like 1 Beast Boss and 1 Mega Armor War Boss.
Yeah, I'll defer to Mark on that because that man is an orc.
He will know better.
That man is an orc, and he will tell you he's an orc. If you ask him, like, no, Mark's an orc, he's like, I'm a Big Mac. I'm like, you just are.
You sure are.
You just are.
Sure are, Mark.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, Thick City, because I got this question in here about what exactly Thick City is. Thick City is the name that, for whatever reason, people are using to talk about the Coven's Dark Eldar build. Generally, any Dark Eldar list that tries to just be tough, so the hallmark units are Talos, Kronos with Dark Technomancer Flamers, and Grotesques, and Rax, all with Artisans of Flesh for -1 damage, and then they all have 5 of Feel No Pain, and then they're all really, really tough, really hard to kill. They still advance in charge, so they're still fast, because they're still Dark Eldar, so they have army-wide advance in charge for whatever reason. So, yeah, that's Thick City. One
of the reasons Thick City is so good is that it is durable by default at the same level as, say, Death Guard Termies, Deathwing Termies are. They're durable by default. The only applicable buff that you can really give Thick City that's going to be increasing its durability is Homunculus. And a lot of the time, unless your opponent has a bunch of strength 6 with +1 to wound, or a bunch of strength 7 or better. You don't even need the homunculus all the time. Like into just regular ass bolters, the homunculus doesn't add anything. So for me, it's an army that doesn't need many buffs. In addition to that, it self-heals from Chronos.
Yeah.
It shoots decently well, it fights very well, but it's the combination of just like 3 really good buffs and high toughness.
It just grinds through you, has a ton of damage in combat.
The best number of wounds.
Yeah.
6 is trash. 7 is as good as 10.
With feel no pain, 5 of feel no pain on everything. You don't understand how hard it is to kill this list until you played into it.
Yeah. Kelsey asks, how long is Adam going to be in the States? I'm going to be here for a minimum of 3 months this time around, and then I'm going to have to bounce out and could be bouncing back soon after that. Or I could be here long term. We'll see. I haven't got anything set in stone yet. I'm just over a bit of a holiday, do some collaborations, jump on, help out the boys.
We're just happy to have him for as long as he wants to be here.
Happy to be here. Yeah. What adjustments would you make your Grey Knights list for Thick City, if anything?
So I really like having a Demon Hammer on the Prescient Brethren guy, because he can run in there with D3 +3, so even though it's -1. Yep. This is, by the way, why 7 wounds is so. So you mean
do you mean the greater Demon Hammer? On
that guy, you give him reroll 1s. He's hitting on 3s, reroll 1s, wounding on 2s, reroll 1s.
It's the winning on 2s is huge.
Yeah, exactly, and it's D3 +3 instead of flat 6, but flat D6. The reason that it's so annoying to have 7 wounds is you think 3 plus D3, 2 wounds go through. That's plenty. Well, the average on that is 5. -1 is 4. So 2 wounds go through. That is 8 damage. With a 5 up feel no pain, you do not kill 7 wounds on average. No. So it takes 3 wounds going through to kill a Talos off a D3 +3 damage weapon.
Yes.
It's so aggravating. And then they have a 6 up going to a 5 up invuln at some point during the game. And, maybe you roll some 2s. So maybe your Demon Hammer guy runs in and kills 1 Talos. And it's still like the best anti-Talos weapon that you have. So it's kind of annoying. So for Grey Knights into Thick City, the biggest thing you can do is have the +1 to wound power off sword bearers.
Yep.
Do not drop that in this meta.
Never.
And then +1 damage. You drop those on a unit of 3 Talos, and it does actually disintegrate under shots. That's a big deal.
Which profile is you better off, the silencers or the side cannons?
Well, you have both, so you just fire both.
Well, so does everybody get that? Everyone gets that against them, no?
Everyone gets the +1 damage, and the swordbearer stuff gets +1.
Because I'm actually a bit of an advocate for taking purgation squads now. At least 1 or 2. Just to help you get through the initial squad or 2. I'm not sure where you find the points, though, is the issue.
Yeah, because I don't really want to cut. Interceptors are good, because into grotesques and racks, you can... I got pressured early really fast by Colin McDade.
Yeah, they clear up the periphery. They clear up the periphery just too well in that game. And that's the other thing you can do. Like, I think by default, just the same level of player, the Grey Knight player has a sneaky advantage. Like, you're just going to play the board better. Because you'll kill everything that isn't a Talos or a Chronos, like, really easily. And then it's just how you go about managing those issues.
Oh, man, it is a rough matchup. I managed to beat James Kelling playing Grey Knights into Thick City.
Yep.
I managed to beat him. It was a very close game. He made some mistakes that he caught later on. I mean, I also made some mistakes. No game of 40K is played perfectly.
Yes,
and it was still very, very close. And I might get the rematch on Saturday. So, I mean, it was a great game of 40K, but like he takes over the board phenomenally well. So even though I got like a dream turn 1 and 2, it was still very close.
Got a question for somebody new to come 40K. You want to read it out, brother?
Love you guys' content. Thank you very much. Love infantry list. Curious how to make foot slog, smash caps, lords work. Helbrecht, Gravis Captain, Lord of Contagion probably. Screening, bodyguard, damage reduction, Tannhauser's bones, anything else. So the main thing towards making slow combat armies work is you need to make your opponent engage you, which is hard. That is why a lot of slow combat armies don't work. There are some that do, and you named some of them.
So, well, it's interesting that there is a little bit of misconception about Black Templars being a truly slow army. They're slow in the fact that they can't initiate the fight on their terms.
Yes.
But they can post up and get to where they want to be very quickly. And if you think about them from that point of view, rather than thinking about them as like, oh, well, I've got to get aggressive and get in people's faces, what you want to do is beat everybody to the punch. Beat everybody to the objectives, get there first, and make them fight you on your terms. And then you can insulate yourself with the fights last and things of that nature.
Yeah. You will not be able to go across the board and charge your opponent. That's just a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream even with Blood Angels, who are significantly faster. But the way to make it work is you take control of the board, and your opponent has a choice. They can either allow you to just have the board and win on points, in which case you've won, or they can come to you, at which point you get your combats.
Yeah.
So you have to play the game that way. You cannot just run at your opponent with a melee army. Nope. Period. And it's that way for every melee army. Any melee army, you're not able to just cross the board and charge your opponent unless you're Marks Orks.
Yeah.
Then you do whatever you feel like, I guess.
So the way I'm starting to conceptualize Black Templars in particular is you want to build in layers of deterrence.
Yeah.
You want to beat them to the punch and then build in layers of deterrence. Either that being by having super smasher characters like Helbrecht and Smash Chap and whatever, and then have all the fights last redundancy. So if they do, they can't fight you on multiple fronts. And so then when you post up, it makes it kind of relevant. Yeah. And of course, then you've also got the 5+ Fiona Pain, the doubling down the unit that you can't insulate with the fights last. And so then all of a sudden they're going into all these unknown waters, and they have to be really perfect to pull it off. Yep. The issue is though, people really know how to do a lot of that stuff now. The skill set needed to avoid a lot of the fights last things is out there. It's been alive and well for a long time. So
the main issue is at higher, at mid tables and lower, slow armies can just walk through your opponent and be totally fine. At higher skill levels, they tend to fall off somewhat because you can play around them. Just if your army is fast enough, you can beat slow armies. Just with that's the only advantage you have in the matchup. You can still win. Generally, I mean, scouring is the scouring.
I think the scouring should be in every player's pack because it's absolutely awful, and you need to build your list to be able to play
it. Is a nightmare.
We have a super chat. Is the Nightbringer a meme into Thick City?
I don't think the Nightbringer is a meme generally.
I actually like him in Thick City.
He's really good into Thick City.
The only issue is I think the best version of Thick City has 2 units of Hellions in it.
I think it does. I think
that's what makes me think Nightbringer isn't amazing because, well, all you need then is like 1 unit of Chronos and 2 units of Hellions, and you kill him in 1 turn.
Are you talking with the sweep attacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little rough. If Thick City has a way to deal with you all in one go, then you are kind of toast. On the other hand, I think Nightbringer is making its way into most of the better Necron lists at the moment.
Savage.
So I think he's fine. I think you do want to bring him. The problem is I think everything in that book, hopefully with chapter approved. Again, I have not seen chapter approved. I do not know what is getting points changes in it at all. Full stop. Hopefully Necrons get some serious points decreases. Then we'll see him being played again.
I think he's good. I think he's worth taking as he is right now because he just does something the list needs. And that's an unfortunate reality that you use Shackle to take in such an expensive model.
Yes.
It's almost like the Swarmlord effect. Nothing else in the NID book can bring what the Swarmlord brings, and so therefore you just have to take him. Nightbringer is pretty up there and comparably necessary. I would take him at the moment just because he's really good into a lot of matchups. I wish he was the thing is sure, cool. You get past and you're a little bit better against Thick City, but he is so bad against NIDs. He is so bad against Grey Knights.
He's atrocious into Grey Knights.
It feels bad to take him, and honestly, I don't think Necrons need help into Thick City because I think that's already a really ridiculously hard game to close the gap on. I'd more worry about looking at the other, B tier armies, whatever's holding. If you are an absolute gun with Necrons and Thick City is the only thing holding you down, meta your ass off into it. Go for it. Yeah. But I'd rather be losing to Thick City. Having
but trying to
consistently knowing that I'm good into everything else.
I don't know. I don't love taking an army that I know cannot beat top table armies.
Well, if you're a dedicated Necron player, then you can make it work. You're just in for the ride.
I mean, who's playing Necrons right now who isn't a dedicated Necron player? If they get points drops, again, very viable. We'll see. I don't know. With the release schedule, a couple weeks, I think, is how far we are away from it. Maybe not. I do not know.
Falcon X Punch. Whoa. Adam in the States. Oh, my dude from down under.
Yeah, I walked in maybe about an hour and change ago to get started on the hangout and hobby, and he was just in the kitchen. I was like,
it's just
hey,
like I'd always been there,
Yeah. Talking about Castle and Crow, I included him in my Grey Knights list. He's not bad. He's not broken. But he's definitely a viable reason to. So what he has over the Tech Marine, which is like the nearest replacement for him, I took double Tech Marine, double Grandmaster and Dread Knight, 30 Interceptors, 3 regular Dread Knights, and a Strike Squad. That feels very solid. The 2,000 point list, you can take that with a whole bunch of good upgrades and stuff. What you do is you swap out the second Tech Marine, the worst one, for Crow.
Yep.
Crow brings Purifying Flame to the table, which the list does not already have, which is very good. If somebody pushes you, can do more mortals.
Correct.
Very solid. Love that. And he also has a decent combat profile with a 6-inch heroic, which just really helps control objectives.
It does, yeah.
He is 10 points more, so you do have to cut a teleporter if you want to make that switch. I don't hate Crow. Crow's pretty good.
Like
He's
Crow.
only 90 points. Like, he's not a world beater, but at 90 points, he really shouldn't be.
I agree. I think he's quite good for what he brings to the table. And 90 points is fantastic.
Yeah, 90 points makes him, I would say, makes him one of the better characters.
Corey's got a good... Is it Corey in chat? He's got a good point. I think Void Dragon is better than Nightbringer at the moment. So Nightbringer has the one good matchup into Thick City. Void Dragon is good into Dread Knights. Kill Rigs, monsters or vehicles?
They are vehicles.
So it's good into Kill Rigs, good into Knights.
He's alright.
So he's already got one, Nightbringer is only good into Thick City. Well, better than average into Thick City, but Void Dragon is better than average.
To be fair, Nightbringer goes through kill rigs like they're nothing.
That's true, but the Void Bringer does that while getting wounds back, staying alive for another turn.
It's true. It's true.
And yeah, but I still don't like him into Orcs.
You can run the Bash Brothers and then run a 1,300 points list with both of them.
Yay!
Sorry, 1,350.
Yay!
Yeah. So that's a little weird. They're both overpriced.
It's both absolutely off their guts overpriced.
Nightbringer needs to come down like 70 points.
70 points. And the others need to come
Void
down
Dragon
40,
needs to come down
45.
like 50.
Honestly,
40,
I could see them
there.
come down 100 points and they wouldn't be broken. They'd be amazing, but they wouldn't be broken.
200 point Void Dragon might be getting a little crazy, but like honestly, not that crazy.
It's not that crazy.
It's really not. They're
How many points is
horrifically
How many points is
overpriced.
Morven Val? 250?
265.
265. They could all be 265.
Yeah, they could all be 265.
Because they are not better than, even at 265, Val is better.
Vol is good. Vol is really good. She's really good. She doesn't single-handedly like turn a game the way that they do, but also 265 is so many points.
Yeah.
Like 350, you're getting into Knight territory.
Well, you're into Primarch territory.
Yeah.
And they are not Primarch.
No, they are not.
In combat, yeah, sure, the Nightbringer is, but in no other facet. It does not buff, does not increase any other efficiencies of your army.
Yeah.
Is there a question there for me?
Adam joining Nick for commentary in the US Open finale this weekend?
No, it's TPM. The lovely TPM and Nick will be closing this one out, doing the whole shebang for Pete.
Yeah, they've gotten their partnership down.
Yeah. And I wouldn't
honed
You
it.
wouldn't want to mess with it now
wouldn't.
at the finals, and I wouldn't want to tear those two apart. They're bonding quite nicely.
So Kelsey is saying, what rules or updates do you think are going to come out for the LVO rules cutoff? And the answer is, I do not know.
Who's going to make it out before? Because the rules cutoff now is the 13th of January.
Yes. So it sounds unlikely that Custodes and GSC are going to come out.
It's relatively because they would have to be up for pre-order on New Year's Day, on the weekend of New Year's.
And it just doesn't
seem like a thing G-Dub would do.
Yeah.
We could be wrong, and I really do hope we're wrong.
I mean, they could be designing stuff around LVO. It's
it could
possible.
be, absolutely. Well, if anybody's going to know, they'll have the insights.
Yes. So we'll see. I really couldn't say, to be honest with you. Hopefully, it seems like based off their release schedule, like they probably will have a chapter approved out sometime in the next month, but I don't really know. So we'll see. We will see.
We got a super chat from. Sorry, I can't read his name from you.
Zachariah Herman. Or Herman.
If you think the best Thick City uses Hellions 2x5, I assume 2x10 is still pretty fun. Absolutely. I don't think you can go wrong with Hellions. You can go 3x10 if you want to. Hellions are extremely good and very underrated. I would personally go 1 or 2 5-mans and 1 10-man would be my preference.
I feel like a 10-man might be a little much, but I like the 5-mans. They're fast. They hit really hard.
You just dump a couple of CP and they'll clear any objective holder that your opponent has. You can sling them from the other side of the table still. I think they're amazing.
Yeah, you can go what like Sean was doing, where he took Cult of something or other, I don't know. And
the +1 to wound against vehicles.
+1 to wound against vehicles and monsters.
Beautiful.
And he also gets like extra drugs, which then he can double up.
Yeah.
And so he had like Hellions making like 7 attacks a piece or something.
With rerolls to wound.
He didn't do it to me, so I'm not 100% sure how the combo works. But
so he had 10-mans, and the whole purpose there was that a 10-man, like he said something like way above average, will kill just one shot of Dread Knight.
Yes.
Every 10-man just gets the one shot of Dread Knight. Second part of the question, why do you think Siegler took Blackheart as a G-Dub terrain? It's for Vect, 100% for Vect.
It was
to
for Vect.
The Nids, and then also to vector the Grey Knights.
Yeah, it actually mattered during the finals. You can see he vected shoot twice. Yeah, Manny likes to use his CP.
Well, I would have. In Manny's list, of course, you do the shoot twice because you got 3 into Hive Guard. But usually, I do the flurry, the exploding sixes.
Relentless flurry, just make it like unpalatable to use.
Because you can use it twice a turn. Like you can use it in each shooting phase and each fight phase in every turn. So you're getting double the amount of negatives for your opponent to deal with.
Yeah. So it's just consistency, I think. I mean, Hellions are phenomenal, but you can take them even without any kind of cult stuff. Like you can just slap them into a Blackheart detachment.
Do whatever you want. Hellions are just well priced goodness as far as I'm concerned. They've got all the right buffs, all the right perks.
They didn't go up in points.
That's exactly right. They didn't go up in points. I'm actually just going to tilt this a little bit. You can keep doing what you're doing. I'll just
you're having a little trouble. Who is this strange sounding but very sexy looking Aussie? Neil says.
Neil, my brother. The lovely Neil Kerr. This is me. My name is Adam. Lovely to meet you. You may have heard me on Art of War Down Under.
Down Under.
A new episode coming out tomorrow morning for you guys, and it's actually a new segment we're doing. Well, a new series. We're doing State of the Super Faction, and the first episode is going to be on Chaos. I'm joined by Matt Morrisoli and Nick Nanavati for that adventure. So tune in if you're all interested. Or Chaos Curious, as I like to say. Kelsey, the Nightbringer is the equivalent of taking relics and waller traits to buff your commander and not your army. Couldn't have put it better.
Well, I mean, I take Teeth of Terror on my Saint Priest, man. I just want to get there.
Yeah. Zachariah has doubled down with his super chat, stating Hellions seem so vulnerable outside line of sight shooting. Against the Nids, they seem really weak. Honestly, if the Nids are using your Hive Guard to shoot your Hellions, that's probably okay. Probably a win.
See, I don't know about that. Because one unit of Hive Guard will just pick up every Hellion, and then they'll fire 2 or 3 more times. And it's just so efficient that I don't think it's really that big of a deal for them.
So if they pick up the Hellions, it's because they know the Hellions are the most likely thing to come and tap.
Yes.
Next turn.
Well, they're also, it's just like, it's such efficient shooting. Like, I'm not shooting into Talos until I'm done shooting into the stuff that just vanishes. So I think that's probably, if I'm going to be honest, I think that's part of why Siegs decided against taking Hellions. It's just because he knew John was playing Hive Guard. Yep. And he knows he's very likely to play John, and he knew Manny was going to play Hive Guard, and he knows he's very likely to play Manny. Yep. And I think he just decided he's going to leave him at home.
Perfect example of somebody metaing for the players, not the event. Now, I say this all over the place, but there's like the 3 or 4 tiers of metaing of the meta. And the first tier is metaing for your army, the things you control. Yeah. And then there's metaing for the things you can't control, e.g. the terrain and the missions. And then there's metaing for the environment, e.g. who you expect to attend, as in the meta of your event, how many T-Suns players, how many Grey Knights, I need to take more anti-psychic or a Calexis. And then the top tier, the absolute top, is being able to meta for the players that you expect to beat or have to beat to win. Yeah. And when you're at that level, that's when you know it's peak good times for you. Kelsey's... I and other 3 people playing Eldari can't wait for the Eldari Super Faction episode. Well, it's going to be on all Eldari. It's actually surprisingly a decent amount to talk about Harlequins because the Super Faction episodes, we cover the life of the Super Faction to date in the
9th edition. Okay.
And so the Eldari Super Faction is quite interesting when you take the whole context of 9th edition. It's just that when Drukhari came out, you never heard of the other 2.
Yeah, what's Eldari? Is that just easy mode Drukhari?
What are these Harlequins I've been hearing about? I don't know what they are.
Is it... Because, I mean, the joke is Drukhari do everything Harlequins and Craftworld do, but just
with
better.
The exception of line of sight shooting. No line of sight shooting.
Yeah.
It's the only trick that and I guess Doom and Jinx are the only relevant things from Asirani.
You lose power from pain if you swap in, and the difference is noticeable.
But we have seen metas where it was necessary.
It's true.
Where it was viable.
Who takes the GW finals? I don't know. Who do you think?
I'm not 100% on who's in attendance. I know you are. Mm-hmm. I know some people who aren't, and I don't know whether I should be announcing anything about who isn't going.
I know that I am, and that's all we need to know.
That's right.
I'm going to try and take it. We're going to see.
I know Brad's going now.
Brad is going.
Yeah.
Brad is going. So that's going to be fun. I believe that James Kelling is going, and I'm not sure about the 4th one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we'll see.
I mean,
I'm gonna try and get my run back.
Brad has won or come second at like every damn thing he's ever gone to. But I'm gonna pick Jack because he's sitting right next to me.
I'm holding the hobby knife. I'm sitting right next to him.
Clan mode. How many tiers of players are there? E.g., noob, mid tier, top table, tournament favorite, Adam tier. That is the Adam tier is on my OnlyFans. The Adam tier. You can
Interesting.
You can find the link to the OnlyFans by subscribing to me on Patreon or the TableWar40k.com. But tiers for players, it is new player, casual, competitive, casual, top table player. So that's the 5 I'd say.
You went competitive casual to casual?
No, casual to competitive casual to competitive.
Got it.
To top tier.
Got it.
To top table. And the top table is literally people who go 5-1 or 4-1. Surprisingly, no, there's only like one person every event that goes undefeated. So most of the top table players are 5-1 players.
Yes.
The overwhelming majority.
Yeah.
Is Manny going? I do not believe he is.
I do not know.
Yeah, I do not know for sure, but I do not believe he is.
He certainly has the record in the US Opens to go, so we will see.
Yes, he would have gotten an invite.
I do not know.
And yeah, up to him if he did. Yeah, we're only aware of the players, of course.
All I mean, there's only 4 slots, but if he got one, I would not blink at it.
There's only 4.
I mean, sorry, did I say 4 or 5?
You said 4.
There's 4.
There's 4.
There's 4 for the competitive side, 4 for the best overall,
Yeah.
and then 8 for some other game I've never heard of.
Manny said he is going, subject to awesome.
Oh, that's good. That's great. We'll see him there.
Have you heard about the rumors about the change to how primaries are scored by Adam Lane? Also, no, chuck them up, dude. I'd love to hear what you've been hearing.
Yeah, chances we see my Blood Angels in the Hive Guard, I do not know. We'll see. I have not submitted a list yet, so we'll see what
Adam, I can't believe you're in the States but you don't have the guns out. They wouldn't let me.
They wouldn't let you.
I crossed the borders and they're like, "You put those guns away, son."
I'm sorry.
You're not bringing those through state
Trust me,
lines.
there's no whatever. What do you have to defend yourself from? Kangaroo boxing.
That's right.
Koalas dropping on you from above.
Drop bears.
Drop bears
Yeah.
even.
Tasmanian devils.
We don't have those here, but it is Florida. I moved to Florida in January. I've never seen a gator.
Yeah, well, I asked. Me and Nick went for a 5K jog around the.
Just lakes. Casually throwing that out there.
Yeah, we did. Went for a jog. He beat me. He's fitter than me apparently. But I am jet lagged as well, so we'll see how we go next week. There was a sign for gators on it. I asked him, like, is there gators in the lake, man?
He's like, yeah, probably.
He's like, yeah, probably. I'm like, sick. I want to fight one. Fighting around the world. That's really what I'm doing here, guys. I'm doing my inner Russell Crowe.
Clown mode, what big differences is there in 3-2, 4-2 players versus players who are 4-1, 5-1? So the issue is that anyone can go. John is one of the best players ever, and he went X-2. I want to say 6-2 at Warzone. It can happen.
Yeah, it can happen.
It can happen.
Eight rounders. I should be an exception for going the 7-1 because it's so hard to go 7-1.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
At an 8-rounder. I played in a bunch of 8-rounders in CanCons, and they're such a shark tank. You have to play numerous other people. Usually, you're playing 3 to 4 players of your equal standing in that event. And when in other events, like a 5-round, 6-rounder, maybe you play 2.
Sometimes matchups determine how well you do. Sometimes who you pair into. Sometimes you just avoid the top players until you get up there, and then you shark tank it out. But I know at the GW Open last week. Yeah, last week. The GW Open, the top 16 was stacked. It was stacked. It was much harder than the other GW Opens.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so the first one got a little bit of shade thrown at it because the field was quite sparse.
Yes.
And people seem to think that's a bad thing. I think that's an amazing thing. That's an incredible thing that they got like 50, 60 players that hadn't been to another event that year.
I don't know. I hear going into the final day, the top 4 is pretty strong.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I really loved messaging out. So yeah, we won the event, and the event still had an extra day just because there were only 4 of us undefeated. We mathed out the odds that we all avoided each other until the top 4, and it was not high.
You wait until I'm playing in that pool as well, and then I will really dilute that scoreline.
We never got those pairings again. Unfortunately, we started to take each other out at the other GW Opens. We started to take each other out at other tournaments. But hey, if you go to enough tournaments, eventually pairings favor us enough where we don't play each other.
Neil Curry said, I can't wait until WTC singles in August. I plan to be there for that one. Hopefully.
Where is that?
WTC will be in Austria. You're not on Team America, are you?
I don't believe so.
No, but John and Richard are. So, and Brad as well.
I mean, I haven't been asked.
Yeah.
I feel like I would.
It is an invite only. Well, you do apply, but yeah. Don't forget parachute spiders. It's like a tyranny drop spam. Yeah, we are like all catachans. As you can see, I am a magnificent specimen of a man in
Death
peak,
World, yeah.
peak physical performance right here. Thanks to everybody who's joined us as well. Really lovely, all the super chats and everybody throwing up. Chuck a couple of bucks if you've really got a question you want us to answer, or if you want to show that Adam is making a difference and is worthy of them keeping around.
Yeah, I mean, because we will use our rankings to determine what happens to this man.
Yeah.
If the ratings are bad, he's getting chained up in the basement.
Yeah, I'll just go back to the colonies.
Just down in the basement. Right. I'm sorry.
Oh, WTC, of course, it got changed to Belgium for this year. Because, I'm still in 2021, lamenting the not going to WTC in 2021.
So,
forgive me.
What do you think about no Marines being in the first bracket, but the second 16 bracket being proliferated with Marines? Feels like an accurate representation of their level generally? Yes. I think it is the sign of how stacked an event is by, at this moment, how many Marines make top bracket.
Well, so in a top 16 of, say, 150 player event, like it was, you would say 2 or 3 Marines in this meta would be healthy?
I think that ideally, I mean, not ideally, obviously this isn't like preferred, but I think if the tournament is stacked, there should be no Marines in top 16.
With the current meta we've got?
Yes.
Yes, well, I agree with that. Yeah.
I believe there were 0, which is probably correct. The more Marines you see in the top 16, top 8, probably the softer the event is. And
this is 2 Space Marine players saying this.
I love Space Marines. I play so many Space Marines. I play them in metas where they're bad, but this is also one of them, unfortunately. Play Grey Knights. Grey Knights are broken.
Yeah. Maybe if the ratings are bad, Adam has to bring Tau to LVO. Don't you dare put that to me. Don't you dare put that bad mojo on me.
It's happening, my man. I don't know what to tell you.
It is in Burgess. That's fantastic. How did I miss that? Oh, maybe it's just one of the numerous things.
No, I think he's referencing a movie.
It is a good movie.
Yeah. I don't think it is in Bruges or however.
Bruges.
Bruges. Yeah. I have not seen it, but I've heard phenomenal things.
How do we make Guard compete in the 9th edition and bring back the armor facing? And why is it bringing back armor facing?
Why is it bringing back armor facing?
I would be fine. I would be so fine if they brought back some kind of armor facing for Guard. Maybe just for Guard. And that they have like a better toughness.
Yeah, if you're not... That would be dope.
Yeah.
Because like for every other vehicle seems to be round, but for Guard it makes sense.
It really does make sense for Guard, because the whole shtick of a Lehman Russ is that it's impervious from the front, really hard from the sides, and paper mache from the back.
And armor facings, with armor facings you got cool dynamic looking battlefields. Without armor facings, sometimes you just have tanks backing their way into your opponent, and it doesn't make a difference. And I feel like that's a little bit of a shame.
Adaptive Subroutines. UK Iron Hands players are about to revolt. They absolutely are. Like, in Iron Hands over in the UK is just... It really shows how different metas are. It
with
really does.
Terrain, that's the big deal.
As soon as GW terrain happens, I don't feel like the Iron Hands can get to do what they do.
I think that's good, because I don't think you should be able to just divide your army by guns and then mindlessly table your opponent. And that's, I feel like that's
there is a little bit more to it, but it isn't like the AdMech bricks we had, which was exactly that boiled down to its finest form.
Yeah.
We have a super chat from Clown Mode. Would you guys make an exception for the Matt Root BT? We'll see if Matt Root sticks with it the long term, and he makes an actual run of Black Templars, because I don't think he will. I think he's going to jump off. I think he had the right list at the right time, and him and some of his lads have been cooking some really impressive Black Templars lists. I like that list a lot. But I still don't think it's the best Black Templars list we can do.
I don't think so. I mean, I think Matt Root is a phenomenal player.
He is a monster.
Which means
he's so good.
I'm interested in seeing how his list performs over the long term.
Yeah.
Whether it's just he's really good, or if it is he's really good and the list is really good.
The list is good.
And we'll see.
Yeah. And you really do have to take that into consideration these days.
Yeah.
There's the Flameheads. The Flamers are cool.
Yeah, Flamers are cool. I think
they will be good again one day.
Painting some up. I love demons, man. They were my first real competitive army.
I played them in 7th and then 8th edition fantasy.
Okay. Oh, fantasy. We got fantasy.
I was a fantasy boy.
I ran high elves.
Really?
Yeah. Banner of the World Dragon, baby.
Edition?
I ran
just leaves.
I ran a big brick of Phoenix Guard, a silver helm bus with all the characters and a death mage in there, and Banner of the World Dragon. I had a lot of fun.
I played ogres after demons. When they got
Frostheart
worse.
Phoenix too.
Exactly right. Frostheart Phoenix and Purple Sun, and it was just GG. Always strikes first. Next super chat from Adam Hill. Thank you very much. £5. You're a champion.
Sam Hill.
Who did I say?
Adam.
I said Adam Hill.
Yeah, you're talking about.
Oh, that's a comedian. That's a comedian in Australia. Sam Hill. Better than a comedian. Hi guys, was playing a Dark Angels, moving into T-Suns for variety and more interaction with my opponent. What's your take on duplicity or time? I think if you were going a single detachment, I think it's time is my preference. Because if you are going a single detachment, you're probably going to have some, well, by default, you have to have some big units.
Yeah.
And the ability to res 2 models a turn is...
So
no one else gets to do that. No one else gets to do that.
It is really good, especially at range when you're harder to take out. Time. So the way that you res 2 is time just has a rule that you can just. It's a psychic power. You just res a model.
Yeah.
And then you can get up to, so you cast smites off your army until the required casting value is a 9, and then you auto pass the power with you auto pass smite on a 9 with your the ritual that lets you auto pass at the minimum required value. So then you've passed on a 9, and then you can spend 1 CP to bring a model back because you've cast on a 9 or more. It's a good combo. You can res 2. I would say without duplicity, even to start, like, you're going to have some trouble with just being immobile.
Yep.
I think you do need to have some kind of mobility. So I would say duplicity. If you want to build in time, your list is going to be slower. It just is.
It just is. Well, and I lean the other way because I think your list is already slow. So I think you just double down on that and just take the resilience where you can take it.
Yeah.
I am a proponent of the Liam Hackett T-Sons build though, which is literally just a very simple single battalion, which just makes an absolute monster of the Scarab Occults. Like, they become nigh unkillable. And then he just plays the board with 4 units of Rubrics, 2 units of 5, Spawn, and a couple of Rhinos. And it goes all right. But we have a question. What was Matt Root's Black Templars list? We can do a little breakdown if you want.
Oh, interesting. Just quick note on Thousand Suns. I actually like Cult of Magic a little bit as a splash because if you're
going to take a little baby patrol, it's actually quite nice.
Yeah, good Warlord trade, good relic, power you cast sometimes, not bad. Let's take a look at Matt Root's list.
He says, I blame Ben for this. That'd be Ben Sherwin. The single battalion starts off with Helbrecht, a Primaris Chaplain on black, Primaris Chaplain. So 2 Primaris Chaplains on black.
I don't hate that.
I don't hate it either.
Yeah.
One, of course, is Superboy with Fires of Devotion, Divine Protection, which I think is the best build. Although it's interchangeable whether you want the +1 attack or the mortal wounds. I'm leaning more towards the mortal wounds these days.
I've been back and forth.
Yeah, it depends on the build, I think. But that guy also has Ancient Breviary, so he's just super ultra consistent. The next guy is he's the Unkillable, the Transfuser's Bones, and Rites of War. So interesting, he didn't go with Iron Resolve.
I think it's similar to my Blood Angels Chaplain that I like so much, where he just kind of grinds through combats because he's so durable.
Yep.
And then he has just enough offense to get him over the line of into a threat. So he's a threat that's just obnoxious to remove.
There you go. He has 1 unit of 5 Assault Necessors with the Fist. So he's got the baby version of mine. I usually like the 10-man. 2 Min Crusader Squads, so just 90 points each. So essentially just 5 attack marines. 1 big unit of Blade Guard, so max unit with the Icon of Henneman with the Super Sergeant. He's got Sword of Judgment.
Does he have
Does not think he has Feast.
No, he does not have Feast.
Yeah,
which maybe he has another.
He's got Terminator Squad.
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah, the only way
I was
thinking
thinking it was odd that Icon would be on the unit with the with Champion of the Feast when Crux goes so well with it.
You're exactly right. He's got his Primaris Apothecary, what you'd expect. Triple Redemptor.
Right.
With all the trimmings. 1 unit of, I think it's 7.
He looks like 7. Yeah.
Yep.
Looks
7
like
Assault Indeterminers, all Thunderhammer Storm Shield with the Crux, so the -1 damage and the extra everything.
That's pretty good into Thick City. I would want +1 attack in this list because it stacks with Thunderhammers so much better than the
exactly right
than the other one.
The models. And then lastly, he has that single attack black that I like to take with
Holy Orb.
With the Holy Orb.
I don't hate the list. I like it.
I like it as well. Yeah.
It's very durable. It kind of just exists at you, and then I'd love to see you do something about it.
I've coined the concept. I don't know. You know MSU. Everyone knows Horde. But there's this weird middle ground concept called MMU, which is multiple medium-sized units. And I think that's where Black Templars might reside best. When you take a bunch of these medium-sized, above-average durability units and just be an absolute nuisance.
Yeah. I think it's good into Thick City. As I said, there's a lot of Thunderhammers. Does he have Helbrecht.
He does.
So you have reroll hits on those. You can
And
hit phenomenally hard.
I got to tell you, the +1 strength on the Blade Guard, especially on the Sword of Judgment, takes that unit going from winning on 5s to hopefully winning on 4s into the toughness 6. Because usually they only take 1 or 2 homunculuses, right? And then they've got 4 units to buff with them.
So the homunculus is an aura.
Yeah, I know, but it's very hard to keep them all together. In fact, I had Anthony Vanilla on my last.
Yeah, it's very easy to spread out.
Usually turn 2, turn 3, 1 or 2 units are away from the homunculus because you're committing charges.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't know. It's not bad.
Sam Hill says, "I am now Adam." I love it.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry too. It's an okay name though. Adopted Soviet teams, put some respect on Liam's list. I do. Yeah, I do. I really rate Liam's list. He is undefeated with T-Sons at the moment on an 18 game win streak.
But in Australia.
Don't you diss my nation.
I'll do it.
I'll diss yours.
Not for long, you won't.
Nah, I'm in the wrong place to do that. You don't come to Florida and bag out America. That's
no, my man, they do not take that well.
No.
I'm from New Jersey, and they do not. I try not to talk smack when I can.
Yes, an elite heavy army. It is. It's like Black Templars is. Do you have elite slots in your detachment? Fill them.
Yeah. I would be interested to see Eradicators actually in Black Templars for the.
Well, you can still take the fatty unkillable Sarge.
You can take the fatty unkillable Sarge, and I need you to just not. I need you to leave me alone. Thank you. He's calling me.
Who?
I need them to not.
Oh.
So, you can take a really unkillable unit of Eradicators, -1 damage, very hard to kill, takes it to damage 1, then you can get +1 to your save against it. It's very, very annoying for your opponent to deal with, and it'll just pick up a unit of Talus every turn. Just reroll hits.
What do you do? You still like the 4 heavies, 2 multis?
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 4 heavies, 1 multi if you want to go 5-man.
Yeah.
That's like the budget version.
Well, I'm considering dropping all the multis and just going all heavies.
Yeah.
I don't think there's, as long as you got the heavy, the assaults just don't do anything.
I don't like the assault. I like the heavies, but I really like the multi-melts. Just firing off 4 shots with each of them feels very strong.
So clan mode, the house 3 shaded. T says, well, tune in tomorrow when Nick Nanavati is going to be playing Liam's actual list on stream.
Into where I will hopefully put it down.
Well, what are you playing?
I'm playing a whole lot of Dreadnoughts. I'm playing Deathwatch.
Oh, the triple Redemptor, double Contemptor?
Triple Contemptor, triple Redemptor.
Yeah, okay.
It's a thick city world out there now, baby.
Thick city world. I don't disagree. That's fair.
You gotta just more damage, more time.
Yeah.
I don't want to I'm not even gonna reward that New Jersey hate with an answer. I'm not gonna do that.
What did you think? What did you actually think of the power of the Custodes stuff there? That we saw.
I need to see the rest of the list. Yeah. It's all close range stuff. So if it's an army that actually gets into close range with you and is very durable and can actually execute that game plan, then I think the buffs can be very good. But we just don't know if it has the units to support that game plan.
Yeah. So it's an interesting issue that Custodes have. So Custodes is never going to be an army that is reflective of their fluff, because if it was, they'd be invincible and you'd never be able to kill a single dude.
Yes.
But at the same time, if you made them act in that way, you'd have 5 models to an army. It would really be very like. Did you play Warhammer in 5th edition with the Grey Knights?
I started playing the game right as 5th edition ended, 2 weeks before.
Okay, so you know about the Palistar and stuff like that.
Yes.
Because that's almost how they should play. There's this band of brothers, 10 guys, unkillable, rolling as a
very durable. Yeah,
extremely durable. But so if they're a melee-based army, because their shooting units are pretty Forge World based, and who ever heard of that? Well, I actually heard rumors that the Forge World models will be in the Codex. We'll have to wait and see.
I heard rumors of that too. I don't know how seriously to take them.
Yeah, exactly. You never know.
Again, we don't have the inside track. Cannot emphasize that enough.
But it's really awkward. So right now, Custodes, they don't shoot well enough. They don't fight well enough for their points, and they're not actually that durable outside the 3+ invuln Storm Shield boys. They're actually just not anywhere near what they should represent. And so, but bringing them up to where they should be, do you know how they felt in 8th edition?
Custodes?
Yeah, they felt really good. They felt really good.
Yeah, they just walked forward, and eventually you weren't able to do anything about it.
They felt really good. And now they just, I mean, Succubus makes any Custodes unit just look pitifully rich.
Custodes are not in a bad place right now. They have good decent matchups.
Only because if you have enough CP, they're the hardest thing to kill in the game.
Yes.
As soon as you run out of CP,
I don't love taking any Custodes list that's under 10 CP.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not in double digits, I don't want to see it.
That means you're almost, of course, you just take a single patrol. You really do that.
So, just a few more questions. Probably going to wrap up soon. Marines. Been playing Sisters through COVID. Jack's enthusiasm for Blood Angels. Maybe pick up some old projects.
Nice.
Hey, no problem, man. Love to see more Blood Angel players.
I'm really, and Sisters as well. I'm really keen to hopefully see a bit of a Sisters resurgence coming out soon. There's a couple of units I really want to see get some love. Paragon Warsuits.
Paragon, please.
Why did they get the Orc treatment? They got the Orc treatment, where they got like, oh, you're getting a new model? It's not allowed to be good.
It is I'm sorry, kill rigs.
Yeah, true. They did well. They bucked the trend.
Yes,
they've come around. They're the new Orc player. Yeah, but it's really rough what some of the Paragon Warsuit stuff is going through. Actually, Sisters on the whole, as soon as Orcs came out, the buggies just came out, and Sisters just
that was the
ceased to be a factor.
They were kind of on the downturn already, but Orcs came out, and it was just
took them out behind the shed.
Yeah, it was bad. It was not good.
And yet they're still a good book. They want, in my opinion, them and Death Guard are the two most. They're what other books should be. All the books should be like those two because the internal balance is there. So many good builds or good opportunities for builds, and it's not over the top. Nothing's over the top powerful. Like nothing's too much. Apart from, I think the Bodyguard rule in general just should be fixed.
I agree. Although I think that Sisters is a book where if you fix the Bodyguard rule, the Sisters are not that good.
But that's what I mean. But that's the same as Death Guard. Like Death Guard's not that good, but that is the power level I want all the books to be at, with just their own flavors.
True.
Yeah, that would be a beautiful world.
Would I consider putting some Contemptors in the Blood Angels? Probably not. I think that any points you take out of the combat really just kind of neuters what your game plan is. But you can take some single gun, single fist Contemptors that will walk through Thick City. That's very helpful.
Plasma cannon,
Cyclone missile launcher, and a chain fist.
I like that. I like that build quite a bit. I love that. I actually don't mind that build as Iron Hands as well. Like taking one or two of those guys, making one of them a character.
If you want a list that beats Thick City, a bunch of Ultramarine Dreadnoughts with multiple +1 attack auras. And exploding sixes.
Banner, so they
have a banner of +1 attack. You can give a Master of the Forge. You can give them a +1 attack and strength aura for Dreadnoughts. And there's a once a game +1 attack aura that Ultramarines have. You stack all those up, your Dreadnoughts have like 8 attacks, rerolling a hit, rerolling ones. You can give them rerolling ones to wound as well.
It's sexy.
Exploding sixes to hit. So you're hitting on 8 attacks, hitting on 3 into Talos, hitting on 3s, reroll 1s, reroll 1 exploding sixes, wounding on 2s, reroll 1s, and then they get their invuln, and then they're 2d3 -1 after their whole thing. For every single one, the average is 3 damage.
That is not bad.
It's really not bad. And they
Space Wolves can do a similar thing.
Yep.
The double exploding sixes. You get like some of the Wolfen Dreadnoughts.
Yes.
They just go in and
12, you can
12 hits,
do a
bang.
ton of damage. You also, if you're taking Master Artisans, you also take a multi-melta and a Cyclone missile launcher on each one. And you're firing off 4 shots, again, rerolling 1s to hit. With a captain nearby.
With good damage.
Rerolling 1s to wound if you just pop the aura or you have a lieutenant nearby. And then you're rerolling a hit and it's high damage and it puts them to their invul and it's just not fun for them. So I think that's really good. Matt O wants to know, hey Jack, think Bloody Rose has enough hitting power to keep Grey Knights and Drukhari off the midboard? Probably not. Sisters combat, unfortunately, into Grey Knights, perfectly adequate. You can hit them very, very hard. Into Thick City, unfortunately, I think you might struggle. Their damage is all damage 2 or low strength damage 1, and it's just struggles to get over to actually like kill the things it needs to kill.
The reason I was talking about Paragon Warsuits is because they fill a niche that I hope gets that I think Sisters need, in the fact that they bring a combat element that is more than a one-use unit.
Yes,
that's my issue with Sisters. Every single one of their combat units you get one use out of. And the game just demands that you get more than one use out of your units now.
Or you actually trade, and I think at the moment they just don't do quite enough damage to successfully trade with the units they need to trade with.
As soon as Repentia got bad, and when Pentia got bad, they got so bad.
Repentia are really good.
They're not.
Not into Thick City.
Or into
Orcs. Or into Orcs.
As soon as Ramshackle came out, I'm like, well, Repentia are the worst thing in the world.
I mean, they still run through unit of work buggies. Even 1 damage, they're just like, here's 18 wounds.
They don't make it past the Overwatch.
They don't.
Yeah, but yeah. You see what I'm saying? There's things there, but and then we double down. Like at Thick City, like firstly you can't charge Kronos, just straight up can't charge Kronos.
Can't charge Kronos.
And then if you do charge Talos, what you kill 1.5, and then you explode.
No, you don't even kill 1.5.
Yeah,
you may not kill any.
Oh, yuck.
It's 1 damage.
If they're toughness 7,
5.
yeah, exactly. If they're toughness 7, you got no chance in hell.
Yeah. So I mean, you can stack a whole bunch of stuff, and maybe you do get to a Talos and a half. Like you give them reroll wounds off of Vol, and you do a bunch of stuff, but it's just you're gonna get shredded in return.
With Talos, can you, if you take a unit of 3 Talos, can you customize all 3 of them, or they all have to be homogenous? Like they all have to take the macro scalpers. Or
yeah, they can be different.
So why aren't people taking one with chase snares?
Which one? Oh, the chain snares is the
blitz attack. Yeah.
You just do so much damage.
I know, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And the mortal wounds on the gauntlet is just sick.
The mortal wounds on gauntlet is ridiculous. You go in, you're just like, oh, I hit on 2, so that's 3 hits and 3d3 mortals to you. It's just
the chain snares were all the rage in 8th. Like with the plague bearer bombs, all the conscripts, all the cultists, all the nids. Yeah. It was just so good.
Trust me, after playing against Ichor Injector, triple Ichor Injector on them, they're so good.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's a bad option. Like melee weapons wise, you just pick the one that makes sense to you.
If there's something tough that you might have trouble killing, see how durable they are after 6 mortal wounds. Yeah. So.
All right, it's time to sign off.
I think it is getting to be that time. Yeah. So, how have you enjoyed your first hangout in hobby?
Pretty good, guys. Thanks very much for having me.
It's
not cringe at all. Haircut looks good.
Yeah, you got one before you came over?
Yeah, literally like the day before I jumped on the flight.
All right.
$60.
Well,
wow.
I'm glad that you guys enjoyed your time here. It's been a real pleasure, especially having Adam here for the first time. But I think we're going to sign off for now, and we'll see you next time.
You'll be seeing me losing on tables everywhere shortly.
Hell yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Dive even deeper into competitive 40K and become a member of the world's most knowledgeable and positive community.
The War Room is an exclusive group that brings together the world's best 40K players as coaches to help anyone from a newer player to an experienced tournament veteran learn, grow, and reach their goals within our shared hobby.
Each week we offer a variety of live stream coaching matches centered around illuminating the thought process and in-game decision making of top players. We explain everything we're doing and why.
You'll learn about the ever-evolving meta, match play mission theory, list making, and discussion of every faction in the game, and have access to analysis of all the latest rules. Our team of highly experienced coaches teach weekly clinics on each individual faction, strategy sessions on deployment and cool tricks, and meta-analyses each week during Meta Monday.
We are committed to not only providing the best knowledge for players available, but also building a one-of-a-kind community.
Come be a part of the War Room.